Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Again with you, Omar from Brownsburg Motorsports, and today we have a 2012 Mini Cooper. This is the base model, and customer stated there is a noise coming from the front. By that, there was no knocking noise, there was no rattling noise. It's just more like a loud noise that gets louder and louder the faster you drive the car. And so usually that's a dead giveaway for a wheel bearing, and there's a few times we can actually find out which wheel bearing it is. One, by driving the car, and like while driving 20-30 mile per hour, you swing the steering wheel left and right. So if you turn the steering wheel to the left and the noise gets worse, then it's the right side wheel bearing. If you turn it to the right and the noise gets worse, it's the driver's side wheel bearing, not the passenger. So in our scenario, every time we turn the steering wheel to the right, we get the noise gets more intense. So it's the driver wheel bearing that we're gonna do, and we're gonna be showing you the step by step on how to remove and replace that. So stay tuned.
Take the axle nut out first.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna remove is the axle nut. It's a 30 millimeter, so we just have to get our socket on the impact, and we're gonna go ahead and remove that. All right, then we just keep it there for now. We just loosened it. The next step is going to be the torque bolt that holds the rotor, and that's a T50 torque bit, as you can see over there. So I'm gonna grab my 3/8 ratchet, and I'm gonna try and give it a shot. Let me see, I think I kinda got it. There we go. So the trick is to kind of surprise it. There we go. As you can see, now it's spinning. You can throw some WD-40 on there or some PP Blaster, but there we go. That's the bolt for the rotor. Now I'm moving on to the next step, and that will be removing the caliper. And I might just remove the entire thing one piece without having to remove the caliper and then the caliper bracket. I might just remove the entire assembly. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the caliper assembly, 16 millimeter bolts on both of them. Here we go.
Tight space.
Huh? You got tight?
Yeah.
That's one. And then we have the upper one right about right there. Let me see if I can hold that for you. Come on, Jeremy. All right, now you can grab your S hook and hook that up top to the bolt. Perfect. All right, with that out of the way, the next step will be removing the rotor and then knocking that CV axle back a little bit so that we can access the bolts for the wheel bearing hub assembly, and I'll show you where those are. All right, the rotor is off. Now that's our wheel bearing assembly. That's the entire piece, as you see. So the bearing is pressed inside already. We're gonna get the entire assembly. As you see, it's attached with 2 bolts on this side and 2 other bolts on the other side. And we're gonna go ahead and push the CV axle a little bit so we can access those bolts.
Looks like somebody's already hit it with an air hammer.
Yeah.
You might have to do the same.
Yeah, looks like it's stuck in there. Somebody looks like already hit it with an air hammer before, so we might have to do the same for that. Perfect. I believe that should be enough. Let's try the mallet, rubber mallet again. If it will fit. Air hammer. Air hammer. Yeah, it's still stuck in there. There we go. All right, so as you can see, there is the 2 bolts on the bottom that holds the wheel bearing, and then there is 2 up top. What we do usually, we make sure the spindle is crooked, so that way we can access the tool on the side, and then we turn the steering wheel to the other side. Both of them are 13 millimeter size, and I would recommend using a wobble, so let's go ahead and try and get those. There we go. Slowly but steadily. Once they're loosened, you can remove them with a power ratchet if you have one. If not, I mean, you can use a 3/8 ratchet or a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch would definitely give you better torque.
These are kind of rusty.
They are rusty, yeah. Extension, yeah. Those are the bolts up top over there. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and loosen these two on the side, and then we'll move on to the next side. Now, once they're loosened, you can unscrew them with your hand. As you see, the CV axle is still there, but it's not pushed into the hub completely. We just pushed it out a little bit so we can access the bolt. Now we're gonna turn the spindle to the other side so we can access the bolts on this side. Right there. Start with the upper one. Extension and a wobble head is your best friend when it comes to these bolts on the hub. Almost there, Jeremy. A little bit down, a little bit down.
There we go.
There we go, you got it. They're very rusty.
Just a little bit.
Then you loosen it with your hands. Right now we're gonna do the bottom one. Wow, they are rusted. We'll go ahead and remove the last bolt and we'll show you what we're gonna do next. All right, we went ahead and sprayed WD-40 all around the wheel bearing. We have all the bolts off for the back of the wheel bearing, and we're basically gonna hammer it down or hammer it out. So let's show you how we're gonna do that. There we go. And just like that, the wheel bearing is out. All right, we got our wheel bearing out, so we're gonna clean up a little bit behind it, get the new one in, and show you what we're gonna do next. All right, I don't know if you guys could hear it, but this is what a bearing should feel like. It should feel like there's something inside rubbing. You guys hear that? Yeah, you're not supposed to hear that when you spin the wheel bearing. All right, you guys, this is the OEM wheel bearing for this car. NSK makes the original wheel bearings for Mini Cooper, and the part number for it is the one right there, 312267766162. That's your part number right there for it. And these are directional. What that means is you gotta make sure you don't have it like upside down. It goes only a certain way. So we're gonna go ahead and install that right now. We added a little bit of oil inside the wheel bearing already, so that way it slides right in. And let me make sure we get.
I'm gonna have to screw it in first.
Yes. So the idea is basically we're gonna try to align it and start with the first screw. Obviously with hands, we're not gonna try and force these screws on. You just screw it in with your hands, all 4 screws, slowly. And once that all of them have started like halfway through, That's when you start right tying them with a ratchet, one at a time. So you go over, you tie this 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, then you go 50, 50, 50, 50 in that order until all of them are tied completely. All right, you guys, this sums up our video for the day. Once you tighten those 4 bolts that holds the wheel bearing, like I said, do it in the order that I showed in the video. Take your time with it, make sure everything is tight and snug in there. And other than that, just retrace your step to put everything back together. If you guys have any question, make sure to drop them in the comment section below. And like always, make sure you like and follow for more.